let's have a look at how Paganini constructed his piece. Now, I've got a theory that Paganini, I mean, he was a pretty good guy at playing the violin, and that he would have spent a lot of time practicing scales. Now, this is something that we all need to do, but the key of this piece is A minor. And it's got a distinctive sound. And what makes it distinctive is that note. And in any scale, what makes a scale interesting is where you find the half steps or the semitones. So in the scale of A minor, there's the first half step there. You've got another one here. Then you've got a leap of a minor third. And then you've got a semitone again. So you've actually got 3 parts in there where you've got semitones. Now, when you're improvising, if you bring out these semitones, you are letting people hear the colour of the scale. And it's a lot of fun just to take a groove and to improvise just using the scale. Because I think Paganini might have been thinking, there's a semitone, a lot of organ music uses scales for long periods of time. For instance, you often find preludes in the Baroque areas would start like this, just using A minor. And you get the double hands, you get the feet coming in, you get all sorts of things. So with your instrument, take the scale of A minor, harmonic minor, and just take the first 5 notes and play about with it. And then take the last 4 notes and give yourself a kind of call and response. And then you begin to see how that applies in Paganini. So here's like a call and a response. Call and response is so common in music. I'll go to the major key for a moment, and I'm going to play something, and I want you to clap a response. And it's so obvious because you'll know the tune. Are you ready? Call and response. That's a big thing in this piece. Now the harmony is essentially that minor feel for half the piece. So look. This is all A minor. Now we've got the magical bit where we change key. So I want you to think for a moment, we're going to look at 3 cities. The home city that we're in, assuming that we could all move around again, is Edinburgh, A minor. But we're heading to somewhere, loads of light. We're heading to Paris, which is the key of C. Aha! Whoa! How do we get to that? How do we get to that brightness? Here it is. So just think for a moment, I'm in Edinburgh. Pretty dull day. The rain's coming down, but the sun's coming out, and I'm heading towards somewhere bright and attractive. But it's not going to last. We're back in Edinburgh. So in a way, there's 2 centres, and there's 2 key centres. One, the minor key of A minor, and the second one of C major. And how we get to them, it's called a modulation. going to think of a modulation as you get on a plane and you go somewhere different. But wherever you go, if it's a city, it's going to have streets and it's going to have alleys. It's also going to have cafes. So, but they're going to be in different places. But it's still the fact that you're going from one centre to another. So think Edinburgh, Paris. The structure of the tune is A, B, which is the A section is all in a minor, and the B section is where it changes key. Now, what's interesting about the A section is that it's 8 bars long and it goes between just 2 chords, and they change every bar like this. A minor, E7, A minor, E7, A minor, E7, A minor. You think it's not very clever, but actually you don't have to change chords a lot to make music sound interesting. Look. Just 2 chords. And that's what Paganini's doing here. This is what's magical about the tune. But eventually, the tension is built up and has to be released. How's it released? The change of key comes here. We started. Now, I'm going to tell you something. It's pretty amazing, this. But to improvise your way around Paganini, you just need to know 3 scales. 3 scales, man. How cool is that? 3 scales. And I'll even tell you what they are. The first one is, strangely enough, A harmonic minor. Now, you can play around with A harmonic minor all through the first 8 bars. When you get to the next bit, the scale you use is D harmonic minor. Yes, D harmonic minor, which is this. But if you play it starting on the 5th, the A, over the opening chord of the next section, it sounds so cool. What's the next scale? C major. C major, it's a cinch. Hey, it's so simple. So here's that middle section. D minor. Now the scale of C from G to G. And then we're back to the A harmonic minor scale again. So I'm going to play just the harmony and I'm going to call out the scales. And what I want you to do is to hear the tune in your head. You got that? So you've got to be thinking, hey, I've got the tune and I'm hearing the chords and I'm calling out the scales. So your brain is actually in 3 parts here. When you just look at music, you're really just seeing your part. With experience, you develop the ability to hear all the other parts and to know what they're doing. And that's one of the great things about this whole thing about the Benedetti Foundation. It's your musicianship. It's being able to hear not just your bit, but what's going on all around you. It's fascinating. Okay, so I'll play the tune and I'll call out I'll play the harmony. You hear the tune and I'll call out when the scales change. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, go on. A minor. D harmonic minor. C major. A harmonic minor. Now I'm going to improvise using these scales and you should be able to hear when I change. Here we go. 1, 2, or 1, 2, 3, A harmonic minor. This is why we practice scales again, again, and again. It's so that we can play passages with ease. And when you're improvising, I'll tell you a secret. I never ever think about fingering. I'm talking about as a piano player. I never think about fingering because it's unimportant. My ideas have got to come out, and whatever fingers I use, it doesn't matter as long as the music comes out fluently. So I want you all, if you can practice A harmonic minor, D harmonic minor, and C major. If you can get round these, and if you can't get the whole scale, just the first 5 notes, actually the first 3 notes, would help you to get round this piece. And I'm going to finish up by just telling you a little bit about the about the harmony of the piece. So we're going between A minor and E7. We've been looking at the scales, but I'll also in the coming weeks be showing you how you can get round this by playing up and down the chords. So we've talked about scales, but there's also arpeggios. All this will be explained to you in the weeks that come, and my hope is that this will enable you to play not just the Paganini, but everything you play. You look at it and you'll hear, oh yeah, I understand why that bit does that. I understand, I hear my bit in relation to everything else. When you can do that, I tell you, you're so near to becoming the musician that we all want to be. Good luck. Enjoy everything that's happening in the Benedetti Foundation, because I am.